Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling the materials you sent about Carmelo Anthony's election to the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame, the class of 2025.
Right. And we're aiming to sort of unpack why this is such a big moment, both for Melo and, for basketball generally.
Yeah, absolutely. So looking at the sources, the first thing is how the news dropped Shams Charania on X, right?
Exactly. It just boom out there instantly, which honestly kind of speaks volumes about how relevant Anthony still is.
It really does. And the fact that the actual ceremony is in Springfield, Massachusetts, that's significant too.
Oh, for sure. The birthplace of basketball, the hall itself, it just adds this whole layer of history, doesn't it?
Totally. It physically grounds his achievement right there in the game's origins.
Right. It's like formally placing him in that lineage. So maybe a quick refresher on his career based on the info we have.
Good idea. He came into the league 2003 draft, Denver Nuggets. And wasn't he like an immediate scoring threat?
Oh, yeah, right off the bat.
Yeah.
Became their go-to scorer almost immediately. Just had a real feel for putting the ball in the hoop.
And he was with Denver for, what, 8 seasons?
Yep, 8 seasons. And it wasn't just scoring multiple all-star selections during that time.
Right, recognition from the league.
And leading them to the playoffs consistently. So sustain high-level play.
Then came that big trade in 2011 to the Knicks.
Ah, yeah, the New York chapter. And moving to a huge market like NYC while still being a star player.
Yeah.
That really boosted his profile, didn't it?
Definitely. Became a massive fan favorite there. Connected with that whole passionate fan base.
And even though he moved on later, Lakers, some other teams.
Yeah, showed his staying power.
It feels like those Denver and New York years really defined him as like this elite offensive force.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Plus, you got to mention the other stuff, 10-time All-Star overall and the Olympic golds.
Can't forget the Olympics. That international success adds another whole dimension to his legacy.
Which brings us nicely to the Hall of Fame itself, the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame.
It's the pinnacle, right? The highest honor in the sport. And it's run by this independent nonprofit focused purely on like preserving basketball history.
Yeah, and celebrating the greats.
Mm-hmm.
The sources mention there are over 450 inductees total, players, coaches, contributors.
So it's a pretty exclusive group.
Very. And Carmelo Anthony joining them, it just solidifies his place. It says his impact on the game is, well, historic, lasting.
And when you think about what that impact was, it's more than just points per game, right?
Oh, yeah. The materials highlight his scoring, obviously, but also his clutch performances, showing up in big moments.
Exactly. That ability to deliver under pressure and, his leadership qualities too, both on the court and maybe even off it sometimes.
Right. The sources use the phrase undeniable mark, suggesting something bigger than just stats, a cultural footprint within basketball.
Yeah, he became sort of larger than just the player, more of an icon.
Precisely. And you hear him called a true legend all the time. That widespread respect. It says a lot.
It really does. It shows the recognition he's earned across the board, fans, peers, the whole basketball world.
So yeah, this Hall of Fame nod isn't just ticking a box. It feels like a genuine, significant capstone on a truly exceptional career. It validates that legacy.
Absolutely. And it makes you think, doesn't it? Looking back at his whole journey, hype draftee, college champ, Olympic medals, NBA star, now Hall of Famer. What part of that story really stands out? And maybe what does his induction say about, what we value in basketball history today? Kind of makes you ponder the evolution of the game itself.